Welcome back to the show. Many thanks for staying with us. Well, some say that being all consumed by a relationship, especially in its early stages, could be a sign of obsession. But what is obsession in a relationship? Or what would you describe as an obsessive relationship? How do you even detect and handle it before it gets out of hand? And what are the possible red flags? What do you do when you see those red flags? Well, today on the Pulse, we have Counselor Kevin-Annan, and convener, who is also convener of the Creative Couples Conclave, Elder Amos Kevin-Annan, to speak to some of these issues. We'll also be joined by the director for the Ankafor Psychiatric Hospital, Dr. Eugene Dodoy, on the phone, who will be also joining in this conversation. But we've posted a question on our social media platform for you on Facebook. We're asking you to share with us your experiences and thoughts on this topic. We want you to also put your questions there for the counselor and the psychologist. If you think you're in an obsessive relationship, let us know. But if you have any general thoughts as well before we even start the conversation, maybe you don't know what obsession is, you tell us and then you can drop in your questions. So, Counselor, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you, Gifty.
It's always good to see you.
It's an honor to be here once again.
So let's just kick the ball rolling. I mean, what is an obsessive relationship?
Well, thank you very much. An obsessive relationship would be a relationship in which one party shows an irrational and excessive control over the person or over issues that occur. Now, to the extent that they live their life as though they could not live without you, and then also show a certain trait of possession. They literally possess you. And so you are not an individual who is sovereign over your own decisions and actions.
So the key here, or the key word here, is irrational.
Irrational. It's irrational.
Irrational. What would you describe as irrational? I love this person. I'm in a relationship with this person. I am emotionally connected to the person, such that if the person feels emotionally drained, it affects me. If the person feels financially drained, it affects me. So I am just showing emotions towards this person that I love. At what point do you describe that as irrational?
For instance, I'm in a relationship with Gifty. Gifty goes out, and I know that she's working. And yet I can't accept and come to the terms that she's working. I want her to be calling me all the time. So when I call Gifty and Gifty doesn't pick, my response and my reaction is paranoid. That, she may be up to something. So you are imagining things that really do not exist. So to that extent, you are being irrational. You are not being rational, trying to accept the fact that at that time that you're calling, she would be working. If she isn't working, she may be resting. If she's not resting, she may be engaged in a conversation. So there is a possibility that you would call Gifty, and Gifty may not be able to attend to the telephone call. So the person calls you the next moment and you pick and say, but I've been calling you, you're not picking. What are you up to?
No, but then let me just quickly announce also that Dr. Dodoy has joined us on the phone. Dr. Dodoy, thank you very much for your time this afternoon here on the Pulse. I'll be engaging you momentarily. But again, I want to say that trust would be at the bottom of this problem, because the fact that I called and he didn't pick up, and the next time I used another phone to call you and you picked up, I should be concerned.
Remember, this is not a one-off incident. This is something that recurs. It's consistent.
Because the person
the person does that most of the time.
But because that means that the person is cheating most of the time.
Well, if they are not cheating and you are assuming they are cheating, you need to validate your assumption. Because see, if you are driven by the suspicion that they are cheating, your response will be based on the fact that they may be cheating. Your actions, your attitude, the way you actually posture yourself will be basically to respond and to live with a person you suspect are cheating. And that is why it's always very important you validate your assumptions and give people the benefit of doubt, unless, of course, they've proven themselves so untrustworthy. That's a different matter. So it's not a one-off incident that you draw a conclusion that this is an obsessive person or an obsessive relationship that I'm having. It must be recurring. There ought to be a lot of other indicators. I'm sure Doc will give you some more indicators.
And I was just going to go to him to find out, Doc, we've just been talking about what an obsessive relationship is. And a counselor here says that it is, an irrational emotional attachment or an irrational attachment to somebody. And I just wanted to find out from you, is this, would you be able to describe this scientifically as a mental problem?
Of course. Thank you for having me. Obsessions in themselves are mental conditions, and they can also be part of various mental conditions. So we have an obsessive compulsive disorder, we have an obsessive compulsive personality disorder, and people may also have plainly obsessions with their partners. So with what kind of obsessions they have, we need to make a diagnosis. And we should realize that obsessions are not normal. So when they do happen, we should find out whether they are part of a condition like a personality disorder, or they are part of a syndrome. Like we have a condition called Othello's syndrome, which is a pathological jealousy, where people who drink alcohol, especially or excessively, tend to feel jealous of their partners. They can begin to smell your dress when you come out from town, smell and see. If they smell and perfume of the opposite sex, it means for them it is a proof that you were cheating. And people can have obsessions from other psychotic disorders where they believe that their spouses are cheating on them. So when people get obsessions, they need to be assessed and properly diagnosed. It may not just be for laugh's sake.
Okay, so I just want to clear this up, that this is happening on the assumption that the person you're with has never shown any signs of cheating, or you do not have evidence to the effect that the person you're with is cheating. That's where this becomes a mental problem.
Yeah.
But when you have evidence that the person is cheating, has cheated, well, it will cheat. I don't know if will cheat falls in. Then it is no longer. It's no longer a mental issue.
No, you see, it can start as a cheating problem, but it can still be a mental issue in the sense that the person probably cheated some time ago, but currently it's not cheating. And the evidence you have now does not suggest or support the person cheating. So it makes no sense to still go ahead and hold that, to the extent that it can be delusional, where they have this thing, against you, that because some time ago I saw you in this situation, even years after, I think you are cheating. When things like that happen, it could still be the person is ill and they need to be assessed.
Oh dear.
We should not consider obsessions as just jealousy
a
or
usual part
or
of
kind
relationships.
Of obsessions can actually be a mental disorder, and whether we should until the person has enough proof that you are cheating, which is not an obsession anyway. If you are cheating and you have found that you are cheating, that's not an obsession. But when you don't have enough evidence, you don't have enough proof, and you insist on it based on a belief on it, it is a disorder, and we need to assess it and we need to manage it. Because if we don't, the consequences sometimes can be lethal. We've had obsession with spouses being killed,
and
or
I want
partners being killed.
I want us to take it one step after the other. So I'll come there. But before we go there, I want you both to talk to us about the signs that should, be a red flag for you if you're in any relationship. So hold on for me, Dr. Dodoy. Let me start with you, because Dr. Dodoy, when I come to you, I want you to tell us the scientific, if you like, the medical bit of the science,
Okay.
But let me come to you.
I think Doc has given us the framework of what it is that you have to look out for in a person who is being obsessive, and that it is not a normal behavior that occurs. So normally people will care for each other. But when a person becomes overly protective of you, that they think and conclude that you're vulnerable, and for that reason they have to control your life, that can be obsessive. Now they also don't give you the space to be your normal self. So anytime you are around such a person, they literally behave as though they own you. That sense of entitlement. They're entitled to know what is on your phone. They're entitled to know who you're talking with. They're entitled to know where you're going from one place to the other. Of course, I mean, within love relationships, we give people information and all that. But when it becomes irrational and excessive, because you see, at that point, it is no longer a normal conduct. It is almost like you are being teleguided.
So a normal conduct would be what? Calling somebody, for example, how many times a day?
Oh, well, I mean, the individuals in the relationship should determine that. Some would want to give you on-the-minute account of what is happening, real-time information.
But is that okay?
For others, it may be normal within their relationship because they have agreed to do that.
So what I get from this is that when the two of you agree on a certain let's say strategy to keep your relationship going. It's okay. So when the two of you agree to be obsessive of each other, is that okay?
Oh, I mean, I would rather say that they are involved in each other's life rather than say they are obsessed with each other. Because
so it becomes an
obsession comes with irrationality.
And so it becomes an obsession when the other party begins to feel uncomfortable
because they feel uncomfortable and they think that you're literally controlling them, you're taking over their lives. They can have a life of their own and therefore they can engage anybody. If they engage somebody, you're overly sensitive about it and you're determining who they should talk to, who they shouldn't talk to. That generally can be accepted in a relationship. But when it becomes overly intrusive, that's the thing. At that point, the other person begins to protest. And because they're protesting, they come to the conclusion that this is not normal.
And then that begins to affect the relationship.
They begin to fight it off. And then it will create turbulence in the relationship. So you're always going to have this rollicking moments that you're always up, down, the next moment up,
tumbling
and
down.
you can't have a stable relationship because it's easy to breed mistrust. And people also cannot give off their best in such a relationship because hostility does not grow, nice things. It always breeds anger and vengeance and something that you could even hire someone to begin to stalk the other party because you are not yourself. They're always on your mind, in your face. Literally, you want to get an update, someone to call you, and they do video call just so they see whether you are alone.
So let me come to Dr. Dore. Doc, let me find out for me, what are the signs to look out for based on what your work is? Are the signs different?
No, they're not different. He's just actually kind of like said it all.
So he's basically said it all. Overly protective.
When you are in a relationship, it's supposed to be a love relationship, and the one party does not have to feel threatened. So that anytime there is a communication, or he or she calls you or checks up on you, and then you feel the person is a threat, then these are signs that, once you feel there's a control over you, to more or less report where you are, what you are doing, and everything, then you know that this is not a normal relationship. When the person starts keeping images of you around, and tend to, more or less, the whole life be kind of centered on you, and everything is about you. That is not, a good sign.
But how is that a bad sign? If you have someone who has your picture, there are people who want people to have their pictures. They actually would take the picture and give it to you and say, look, hold on to this.
So you should have it around, at where you are, maybe in your bedroom or something. But when it is all over, I have it in my kitchen, in my bathroom, in my bedroom,
Well,
in my
isn't
sitting
that
room.
romantic?
Well, that might be that a person cannot get you off their side. So anytime that they feel that you are leaving their side, either physically or psychologically, then they may do anything to keep you within their side. And that is when that becomes a threat.
Is it also possible that because you want this person so much, because you are so... Let me give you this example. I have a friend who is married to this woman, but he feels that the woman doesn't love him anymore. And since he felt that the woman doesn't love him anymore, he's been tracking her conversations. He's been tracking her movement, for example. And he has confirmed, you know, based on what he has heard, unknowing to the woman, that, well, it looks like this woman has had it. Could it be that he's just been obsessive, and because he's blinded by that obsessiveness, every move, every word that she says, he interprets it to validate the feeling that he has?
Well, that is what an obsession is. I mean, it's more or less sometimes delusional, where they don't really have the facts, but everything that happens is, I mean, it's actually tried to be interpreted to mean that you are leaving them. But in this case, the person has actually requested for a separation. So the man feels threatened that he is about losing this person. So if the feelings and the behavior started when the threat of loss happened, then that cannot be said to be an obsession.
Okay.
But when there is no proof of loss, there's no proof that this person is not in love with you again, and then you begin to feel threatened that this person you may lose the person. Or love is supposed to be mutual, so that if the person has made it clear to you that I'm not in love with you again, I do not want to be with you again, and then you, as adults, you've agreed that, okay, fine, we cannot go on again. You have no business seeking to control that person. Once you seek in any form, whether by monitoring where they go, whether by checking up on their Facebook or their social media handles and everything, what they do and all that, that becomes an obsession. And when any therapist gets aware of such a person, we are supposed to inform that person that their partner is, obsessed about.
Okay.
Inform to take safety measures against this person, because we know of the consequences of obsession. Okay,
so we're going into what to do. If you, based on the signs that both my resource persons have shared with us, if you're listening to this, you're watching this, and you find yourself in a relationship that fits what we've just described. The person is overly protective, the person thinks that you're vulnerable, the person is controlling, doesn't seem to give you any space to yourself, actually feels threatened by your absence, you might as well, you probably are in an obsessive relationship. So what do you do about this? Give us a call and talk to our counselors and our psychologists on the line. The number is 0302-211-691 or 0302-211-692. So let me run through the numbers quickly. It's 0302-211-691 and 0302-211-692, and it is on your screen right there. So give us a call quickly. I think we can take a few calls, and if you have an issue, you want them to specifically deal with that, they can do that for you for free, by the way. So let me come back to you, and we're going to start the conversation about what to do if you find yourself in a relationship that seems to have all these qualities or these signs, characteristics, thank you, of an obsessive relationship. What do you do? Usually such relationships become abusive.
Definitely. They become abusive in the sense that, first and foremost, you cannot think for yourself. This individual will think for you, and what they conclude to be the problem, you must necessarily accept as a problem, even if you don't see it as the problem. Now, even where there is no cause for alarm, they see an alarm.
Okay.
So they call woof woof when there's no woof.
Right.
They see things that do not exist. That's why Doc was talking about the delusive bit of it.
Okay.
So you become delusional. And can you imagine you come from work and your spouse is smelling your attire to see whether you have engaged with somebody else?
Maybe they don't do it directly. I mean, you know,
Well,
when you take off the shirt,
if you see it,
then later.
or every time they are praying, oh, they use a particular line about you. That may sound like a
the
spiritual,
strange woman.
You know, it's like spiritual issue.
Okay, let me just hold on quickly and pick this call from Justice in Japan. Justice, sorry for Justice Japan in Adan. Justice, sorry for keeping you waiting. Talk to us.
All right. I'm a type that I normally, if I don't hear about my lady, I get worried.
Okay.
And normally when I call her 1, 2, 3 and she doesn't pick up, I start thinking that maybe probably she's doing something. Could it be an obsession?
Is it because you don't trust her?
I trust her so much.
But you still feel when she doesn't pick your call after the 3rd time that she is with somebody else?
Probably.
Okay, we'll have our resource person speak to that. Justice, keep watching. So,
all right.
So let's wrap up.
The question will be: Does he have a history? Is there any reason why he doesn't feel so assured? Yes, because see, oftentimes if I've had a certain experience, I operate on once bitten, twice shy model.
Okay.
So I am overly careful and cautious.
Because it's happened
and
before.
so mistrusting because I myself have been in that situation.
Okay.
Or it could be that you have friends who have had such experiences and therefore you are erring on the side of caution.
Okay.
And that caution sometimes can be taken overboard.
Okay.
So what justice really needs to examine is there assurance between the two of them?
Okay.
Can you be assured? Can you take her for her word?
Okay.
Because if I'm in a relationship with you and you can't take my word to be the exact thing and you have to second guess me, then there's a problem.
Okay, let me take a quick one from Dr. Dodoy on this one. But I have Christopher calling us from Kwandai on the line. Christopher, hold briefly for me. Dr. Dodoy, what does Justice need? Is he obsessed with this lady?
Yeah. So what Justice should have, should kind of like consider is, why is he not worried when he's not taking the call that probably she might be in danger and he has to go and help, but rather think that she's with somebody else?
So that's a problem?
Yes, so he definitely has a problem, and he needs to kind of like check it.
So what should he do?
Because, he needs to sit with the lady, let her assure her, they should both assure each other that yes, we are in a relationship, we are dating.
Okay.
And secondly, if people are,
let me take Christopher from Pandai, and then I'll have you respond to Christopher's query, and you can add Justice's own as well because of the way we're going. Yes, Christopher, go on and speak to us.
Yeah. I'm Christopher. I'm a call from Pandai, but I also work in Accra.
Oh, right. So tell us, what's the issue?
Yeah. So I normally call my lady. I'll call her sometimes 10 times a day. She don't be picked. Then once you come and pick, I'll be worried. Then it's like I'm worried, but to be frank, so I don't know whether I want to talk.
Okay, hold on. You say you call her all the time and she doesn't pick, but
yes.
But then what?
If I use a different line to call, then
if you use a different line to call her, then she'll pick up.
Yeah. So
and then when she's talking to you, what is she saying?
That she's busy.
And then she'll hang up.
Yes.
How long have you guys been together?
Oh, almost 4 years now.
4 years now. And this has been happening throughout the 4 years?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me talk to, let Dr. Dodoe speak to this, and then we'll see if you have some solutions.
Well, that's of Christopher. Generally, the lady might be busy, but she may pick a phone call from a different number because she thinks this might be a business call, it's a quick one or something like that.
Okay.
But if it is, my partner, maybe I can make time later and call the person. So it will depend on if she actually makes time to call you later. And because when people are working, they wouldn't want to come and interfere with the work. And that is one thing that people in relationships should know, that they should give each other some space and some freedom, because they have their individual lives before they come to join theirs with you. So even though they are with you, they still would want to find their private space, their private, area and period and time that they will operate it themselves.
But for 4 years, if I keep calling you,
with this, then sure,
but
you
quite
have
frankly,
a problem with that.
Quite frankly, if I keep calling you for 4 years and you don't pick up, and I call you with another line and you pick up and you say you're busy, I mean, that sounds like an end to the road for me.
No, but if it's an end, then they'll not be there for 4 years.
Okay, let's take this call from Akosia in Adenta. Akosia, speak to us. Hello, Akosia. Okay, Akosia cannot hear us. But, Councillor, let me take your thoughts on
well, it is said that absence makes the heart grow fonder. But
is that so?
Well, it's been said.
Because there can be some absence that will actually
creating distress. That is partly because of the circumstance in which the two persons find themselves. If we are in a state where we're constantly not certain and assured of each other's commitment to the relationship, then that becomes the issue that drives us. So you're actually not going to be comfortable with the distance and their inability to pick a call. So you start misreading. But it's important, like Doc said, that they sat down to talk, discuss the issues, because, and then also if it is that she calls back, then clearly there's an issue of perhaps she thinks this is a business-related call, and she cannot ignore that.
For 4 years?
Well, we need to ask a few more questions
right.
Because for 4 years, I'm sure that it may be there, but there may be other times that has made you a reason. There may be reasons why you are still holding on to this. Because they have other very good parts that actually makes this very insignificant, except that it's something you're still giving it.
Okay. Chantel is calling us from Spintex. Chantel. Why can't I hear the women? Okay, right, Chantel. Chantel, yes, good afternoon. You're on air.
I'm Chantel. Yeah, please. It seems I'm finding myself in that situation.
What's happening?
Yeah, because he calls me every day, and to the extent that he has made his friends around to be stalking me. And even yesterday, we had a misunderstanding because I sat in a friend's car to go and buy food. And this is really getting serious. It's affecting our relationship. Each and every time I tell him to trust me, but he doesn't have problem. If he doesn't hear from me within an hour, then we start to fight. I don't know what is going on.
Okay, I don't know if hold on. I don't know if you'd like to ask, speak to her directly, or if she hangs up, you.
I think it will be better that way.
Okay, you'll be better that way. Okay, so Chantel, this has been going on for how long?
Yeah, we've been dating for 3 years now.
3 years, and this started at the beginning, or it's just starting recently?
It started in the middle. Because of that, he always changed my SIM for me. He always changed my SIM for me. He
changes your SIM for you, but you can buy a SIM yourself.
Like within 3 months, he has to change my SIM for me. Within 3 months, he has to change my SIM. But yes, so I've not given him any reason for him to doubt me.
Perhaps I can ask you one question.
Okay. So
Chantel, are you dependent on this person?
No.
You're not
I
dependent.
work and he works.
So how come he has to change your SIM?
Because he tells me the calls I have, they are too much. Guys have been caught. Sometimes it's from work, but yes, so he doesn't understand that.
Okay. All right. Okay. I think we can take some of the issues off there.
Right. So we can. Chantel, thanks so much for calling. Let's get a quick response to this.
I mean, it's a clear case of possessiveness. The person thinks that they have an entitlement to you, and for that reason, nobody else should come between you and them. The exclusivity is fine. When you're in a union which is consummated, exclusive union is between us and none else. A third party comes in and they're intruding into our space. But a prenuptial relationship, you don't go to that extent.
Okay, let me find out
that
from
it becomes necessary to change their SIM, not once but twice.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds quite disturbing to me. But let me find out from Dr. Dodoy, what kind of condition will this gentleman perhaps be suffering from?
Well, I think Chantal is not safe.
Chantal is what?
She's not safe.
She's not
safe.
She needs to really either let this man go ahead. I don't know what they are waiting for, either to get married or whatever it is. But she cannot, live with somebody controlling her in that regard. Elsewhere, she may have to seek even police and something like that. This is not out of love. You cannot talk about this as love because this is being too possessive. To talk with you every hour and know what you do every hour, doesn't mean she is not working. Because if she's working for somebody, the person would also demand that you work every hour. And if you have to make a call every hour, then how do you work? This is not healthy, and she's not in a safe.
She's not in a safe place.
Relationship, and the man needs to see a counselor and grow.
So Chantal should see a counselor and walk. Actually, someone will say
the gentleman
needs a counselor. All right, the gentleman needs a counselor, and Chantal should run. But
Chantal needs a safe space.
So she should run. Run, baby. That's what
currently she's not safe.
And how does she convince a gentleman like that who's so obsessive to say?
Yeah, so
how does she run?
To do is that both of them would have to go and see a counselor, and then they'll both present their case. The counselor will be able to tell what the problem is, make a diagnosis, and then give a therapy.
Because for people like this, when you go, you say, hey, let's go and see a counselor. First of all, I think they are egoistic. It will be very difficult for them to follow you to go see a counselor. Secondly, to go and see a counselor and for the counselor to say, I think this is not working, split up. Wouldn't that cause another problem?
What we have here is that we are in a relationship. I don't feel loved. I rather fear. So if you truly love me as you claim, then let's see somebody to mediate our relationship. Because I don't feel loved. I feel scared in this relationship. I feel threatened.
Right.
My existence is being threatened. So if you love me as you claim, then sure, let us get an objective person, a third person to assess the whole situation. Because I don't feel loved as of now. I feel threatened.
Okay.
Well, and anybody whose life is threatened. I don't think it's something that we take lightly.
She doesn't need an angel to tell her what to do, you mean? Right.
Not at all.
Chantal, so I'm sure you're still watching. That's advice for you. Get your man to seek counseling, and you, if it doesn't work, run. Evans is calling us from Drapa. Evans. Hello, Evans.
Yes, hello.
Evans, talk to us. We're listening.
Okay. I am in a relation for over 8 years now.
Okay. A relationship? Why won't you get married?
No. She was in school. She was in SS.
Okay.
So
please go ahead.
She didn't pass well. We have to assist for a private. She's now okay. From there, it has become something. I'm not getting her the way it used to be.
After she finished SS?
The way she behaves these days, I don't get it.
What is she doing?
She used to be with me, but it's like she's not more with me now. She complains she wants to work. I said, no, you have to go to school. But she wants to do work. He wants to do private work. And that I don't accept. But
so she wants to do, buying and selling, I suppose.
No, just to attach herself somewhere and also get some money.
So she wants to do some work and get some money, but you want her to go to school?
Yeah, I wanted her to just remain. If I can't take care of the school, whatever it is, it's my call. But she insisted, and then she has to go and be... Hello?
Yes, we're listening.
she has to fall away and then now she's with a guest house, which is not, I don't feel comfortable.
Okay, so how old is she, by the way?
22.
She's 22. So she,
Yeah.
she went to, you were dating her when she was in senior high school. She has completed
Yeah.
senior high school. You want her to continue to go to the university, but she decided that she wants to work at a guest house, and she's working at a guest house. So you want to find out if you are being possessive of her?
If I'm...
You want to, so what's the issue? You want to find out if you are being obsessive of her? Or...
The way I'm feeling, well, I'm not feeling safe.
You're not feeling safe in the relationship?
Yeah.
Because she's not listening to your advice?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And she no longer comes to me like usually.
She doesn't visit you as often as she used to because she's working now?
Any longer.
Okay.
But whenever the parents of said, no, she don't have anybody in his room, but I'm not just getting it.
You suspect that she's seeing somebody else?
Yeah. I need some help.
Okay, Evans, keep watching, and I'm sure Counselor is ready to give an answer.
It means that they started a relationship when she was 14 years.
8 years, and she's 22 now. So,
14 years. I mean, clearly...
I mean, they've dated for 8 years.
8 years. So 14 years. At that age, their capacity to appreciate life and its nuances is very low.
Okay.
Now, as they grow, they see new perspectives. And that new perspective will begin to inform their decisions and the choices they're making. I'm not surprised that she wants to work and earn her own money.
Because she wants
Perhaps
to be independent?
she feels dependent on this brother Evans.
Okay.
And so she's trying to also become self-dependent, if at all, be able to manage a few things on her own, which is a good thing to do. Why it is threatening Evans, we need to understand, because now she doesn't have a problem. Evans is the one who has a problem.
Evans says that she doesn't come to visit him as much as she used to.
She won't come as much as she used to.
So it's okay.
Because there's
Evans should know that this is okay.
There's a new order taking over. The old order is changing, giving way to the new.
When she was young and now she's old.
Now 22, she sees life very differently from 14 years.
Okay.
And so you can be very certain that she will change the way she does her things. And that change may impact you. So you need help.
Okay.
First and foremost, understand why the change. Perhaps her expectations of what it should be by now has not materialized.
Okay.
And
He
so
should wake up.
She's waking up.
Evans should also wake up.
Exactly.
And realize that
parity.
she's grown.
Come to parity.
Yeah. She's no longer the 14-year-old that you dated when she was in senior high school, Evans. You need to open your eyes to that. And I guess they should have a conversation.
Yeah, a conversation.
Okay. Okay.
And it shouldn't be that they are not. You see, sometimes people go into relationships and we don't see ourselves as equals. And that in itself can be very
problematic. Because you can tell from the way Evans speaks that he feels like
he wants to be in charge.
He wants to be in charge. He wants to take care of her, basically. That's not the way to go.
That's almost like a paternal relationship.
Okay. So Evans, she's not your daughter, and she has really moved on from 14. She's 22. So you need to take all of these into consideration and have a conversation, see how it goes. Let me take this caller and let Dr. Dodoe respond to it. Prince Baumia is calling us from Bokmo. Hello, Prince.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I like your program. Your program is very interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah, right now I'm watching it. It's very interesting. But I have some problem.
Okay.
Yeah, my problem has to do with I'm dating one lady. Yeah, she always calls me early in the morning. She always calls me, but she doesn't want to prove to me that she really loves me.
No, if you say so, you're saying that she calls you, but she doesn't like to come to your house.
No, she always comes. But
she
like
comes.
for now,
but so what proof do you want?
No, the problem is that she loves me, but she don't want to prove to me. She don't want to open up.
What do you want her to do to show you that she loves you?
No, there are certain things that I want her to do. The problem is I can't go to their house.
There are certain things you want them to do. Or what? She doesn't want you to go to her house.
Yeah, I can't come to her house.
Is that what she told you?
Yeah, she told me that for now I can't come to the house, but there will be a time that she will invite me to come to the house.
Okay, but do you know her house?
Yeah, I know that. I know the house.
Okay, so she says that it will get to. So really, what's the problem here? The problem is that you want to go to her house.
Yeah, I want to come, but she told me there will be a time that she will invite me to the house.
Okay, all right, Prince. Thank you very much for your call. Let me let Dr. Dodoe speak to this. Hopefully, we'll get some answers. Dr. Dodoe, is there a problem? Lady doesn't want the guy to come to her house, but she goes to her house, she calls him.
Well, I mean, let me start with Divine. So, I mean, it just, you should know, as Counselor has said, levels don't change. So,
everyone should know that levels don't change.
That's it. And for the last caller, I mean, yes, it's quite difficult what, I mean, he is expecting to show as a proof of love. Because I'm sure as we were questioning whether she was giving sex or not, or whether she was coming to you or not. But if all these things are being done, depending on how long they have been dating and their cultural, I mean, like kind of circumstances. In some homes, once you bring a man home, it means you are getting married.
Right.
So all these things must come into play, and this is not kind of obsession or whether it is kind of love or.
So the lady is just not ready to make that move yet, and that's why she's saying that at the right time she'll bring.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Prince, it looks like you've got a good case there. So just take your time and give her. I mean, she's coming to you. She's calling you. The one thing you need her to do is to, bring you to her house. Give it some time. Kennedy is calling from Navrungu, and I'll let Councillor take that. Kennedy?
Yes, please.
Please go ahead. We're listening to you.
My name is Kennedy from Navrungu. Please, I want to ask a question. I've caught my partner cheating once, and she told me she'll never cheat again. And I just want to monitor her. Am I obsessive to her?
Yeah, so she has cheated once. Now you want to monitor her. How do you want to monitor her?
Through a phone call, movement, where she is at any moment, every hour.
So you have someone to tap her phone or something?
Myself and a friend.
You're tapping her conversations on her phone?
Yes, please.
But that's not legal, right? That's unlawful.
Hello?
Yes. Now, Kennedy, I'm asking if you know that's unlawful in the first place.
Okay, but I just want to know whether if it is obsessive love or maybe it's something else.
Okay. I'll have my resource persons respond to that. Let me start with you, Councillor.
It is clear that Kennedy, even though he says he has forgiven, he's still in a state where he's uncertain. That uncertainty.
But isn't he justified?
Well, he may be justified, but I think that he should not take it too far than it has gone. Because you see, I have forgiven you. I'm in a relationship with you. Relationships are built on trust. How do you stay in a relationship with one you can't trust? You sleep with your eyes open. Is that what you want? You put yourself in unnecessary stress. And so sometimes it is better to move away from something you cannot endure than to stay in it.
Okay, I understand that we have your microphone. We can't really hear you properly. So let's get Dr. Dodoe to respond to Kennedy, and then we'll fix this microphone problem. Dr. Dodoe?
Yeah. The special relationship of love been important here. For instance, when did she catch her, cheating? Is it about a month ago? Is it about a year ago?
Okay.
Is it about 5 years ago? And after that, what has she done to make you continue to suspect her? So if we do not have consistency that shows that she's likely to do it again, then going to the extent of checking her phone calls and all that, that is a bit too
extreme,
taking it too far, and that will make her feel threatened in that relationship.
But what if that will give him the assurance that she has changed?
Unfortunately, when you get one, you would want to get more to confirm what you got earlier. So there will be no end in sight. If you don't trust the person, there's really nothing that
you can
would, make you have that. Because I don't need to tap her phone calls to be sure that she's not cheating.
Okay. Well, let me take this call from Ho by Anwar, and then Councillor, when I come to you, you can finish up the thoughts on Kennedy, and then we give some attention to Anwar. He's calling from Ho. Hello, please go ahead. We're listening.
Good evening.
Good
Madam,
evening.
I really love your program. Sir.
Thank you.
Yes, please. I need a serious advice. I was dating a lady for almost 8 years now.
Okay.
During our relationship, though I was cheating naturally, but
you were cheating or teaching?
Yeah, I was cheating.
As you were cheating, as in you were.
Yeah, I was dating lady.
You were dating two people at the same time.
Yes, please.
Okay,
so
and she caught you.
She got to know, but it never caught me on that scene before.
So she has never seen you do it before, but she heard about it.
Yes, please. Her friends do tell her, oh, we've been seeing her guy and so and so and so. Later in 2017, come again.
Yes, go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Okay, so later last year, she went and dated someone. She dated that person and she cheated one. So now, like, she came back, we settled the case, we are still dating. But I still feel the pain. So I don't know.
You feel the pain? But you cheated on her too?
Oh,
so it's like one draw.
Yes. I've been sincere. Yes. I just want advice. That is why.
Okay. So what do you want to do now? Do you want to stay in the relation? The advice should be based on you.
We have gone ahead. Even we want to marry.
Okay.
You see, but whenever I remembered that thing, because she told me that the guy slept with her, but I haven't confirmed to her that I slept with other ladies. So I usually feel the pain.
Okay.
So please, I want counselor to advise me.
Okay.
Should I go on to marry her or I should stop? Because whenever I remember that, it disturbs me.
Okay, knowing very well that you have your own cobwebs in the cupboard. Okay. Knowing very well that you have your own sins hidden.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I'll stop though. But she come in and tell me, yes,
okay.
I'll stop. Yes.
Okay, let's take some.
And told me that the guy that he dated, I've slept with her once.
But so you also slept with the woman you dated, right?
Come again, yeah.
You also
so now I'm trying to check her. I'm trying to call her. So I don't really know what is next. I love her.
Okay.
But if I think of it, then I'll feel this way.
Okay, listen to counselor as he gives you the advice.
Right.
Keep watching on your TV. You're welcome.
Well, one of the challenges people are having today is they date for too long. And it creates a lot of uncertainty in people. And then they get committed to somebody on the sides, and then that ends up in some cheating or flirtatious behavior. So people should know when it is that they want to get into a relationship and have a certain timeline
within which they want to marry.
So they need to consummate that. Then they can build it on. Now, you have cheated. And it sounds to me that he had cheated more than once.
Sounds like.
So, and he reiterated that she did it once.
Yeah.
So if she forgave you, even with all the suspicion and mistrust she has about what you have done, she's been able to endure that, then you should also be able to develop enough graciousness to forgive.
But now that he's having this feeling of mistrust and she's having this pain and bitterness in him, should he go ahead and marry this woman?
You know, his pain and bitterness will evaporate the moment he confesses to the lady what he has done.
Okay. So he should confess
because, you see, he hasn't confessed to the things he has done on the blind side of the lady. So the lady is living in a state that I'm the guilty one.
Right.
And he's the innocent one. So to the extent that you are made to feel the innocent one, you think you have a legitimate reason to hold on to pain.
So once he says it.
Once you say it, you discover that Charlie, it won't even out. Because yours plenty. You know, so for me, if you are not confessing yet, then be gracious to let go.
Okay.
And accept that both of you have cheated. And on that score, let's build a new relationship on trust.
On trust.
Let us not try to stalk or monitor or set surveillance over anybody. You know, Kennedy did that, and he had involved a third party. Now, bringing in a third party is very dangerous. You know what you have done? The image of the lady is completely gone.
But you know, there are friends
eyes of the third party.
There are friends who are like you can trust.
But
people you can speak to.
You're talking about a friend you can trust, but the one you're going to build a union with, you're struggling to trust. Between the two of them, who can you trust the most?
But what if they go in, they listen to her calls and realize that, well, she's actually doing nothing wrong? That's good.
That's good, but still you have sent a certain signal. You see, I always talk about paint a portrait of the person you are dating. assuming we are in a dating relationship, Gifty, and I paint a portrait to Tilly about you, and she hadn't seen you before. As you come, she goes like, "Oh, is that a lady?" Because that's a portrait I've painted of you. And
so
the portrait,
it either matches or doesn't match.
Exactly. Even if it doesn't match, it is you.
Created. Okay. Okay.
And they'll relate with you on the basis of the portrait I have painted. And that's what you do when you involve third parties who are not helping.
Interesting. I'm going to take final words. Let me start that with you, Dr. Dodoy, on the line.
I mean, it's sad sometimes we want to portray holier than thou attitude. I mean, he has cheated, but he believes that he won't do it again. But she may do it again. So what makes him like different from her? You know, so we need to.
Isn't it more of a cultural thing? Where here in Ghana, I've had a lot of men say, "Oh, it's okay for a man to cheat." In fact,
well, it's because of the patriarchal system that we have inherited, which we had.
Is that a psychological problem?
Is
that a psychological problem?
No. It's
on the part of our men here in Ghana.
A social structure that we have created.
to create a psychological problem for our men.
Yeah, I mean, we tend to allow or accommodate men when they cheat compared to women. And that is purely social structure. It's not... the only scientific part is that men tend to get more of the men hormones, androgens, that make them have more sexual desires or libido than the women. Most women have lower men hormones that make them less, libidinous. Okay. So otherwise, I mean, men and women are equal partners, and they should be able to be treated as such. But societies seem to permit or accommodate when a man cheats than when a woman cheats, and that is purely social structure.
So what does this gentleman do? What would you advise? Should he go ahead and marry this lady, seeing that she's bitter?
I mean, typically we don't advise go ahead, marry or not marry. I mean, what we do is that we counsel. So we give you the pros and cons, and then we tell you, I mean, which way are the consequences for each of them, and then you choose. That people should be responsible for their own decisions, and not to come and say that, oh, yes, Dr. Dodoy said I should go and marry, and now I've got problems. Because whoever you marry, you have some problems.
Right.
So we don't dictate to people who they should marry.
Okay.
And I would want to conclude by saying that obsessions are not healthy. Obsessions are dangerous. If you have a partner who is obsessive about you, don't think it is love. Just, I mean, try to be safe yourself, and then get your partner to seek help. And that you can have, I mean, a better form of love than just being obsessive of the other. And trust, we all need to trust each other. We cannot live in life without, trust.
Okay.
We need it.
Dr. Dodoy, thank you so much for your time. He's the Dr. Eugene Dodoy there. He's at the psychiatry speaking to us on this. Let me quickly wrap up with you,
I would
Counselor.
say that love would always let go and create space without feeling uncomfortable with the space that has been given. And when it is that an individual is in a relationship, we are in a relationship that is built on trust, mutual respect, then goodwill. So if you can't exercise these in the relationship you're in, it means you've got to take a step back, review your commitment, and see whether or not you can live with it in the long term or you cannot.
So it's either you walk or you stay and settle for the consequences.
The decision must be yours.
Right.
Don't let anybody coerce you into it. Don't let anybody pressure you into it. And don't do it out of sympathy. Okay. Because oftentimes people do it out of sympathy. And they discover that, oh, the sympathy wins, and therefore now anger and all those things, bad blood begins to show forth.
Right.
So we can live well. Let's do so.
Councillor Amos Kevin-Annan there, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And every time we've called on him, he's made himself available. So those are the signs. Person is overly protective, thinks you're vulnerable, controlling, no space to be yourself, etc. Run. It's either you run or you stay and bear the consequences.